Hi there, so I'm in my kitchen and I've got one of these universal CV boot joints. They're the StickyBoot type, which means that you can stick them together without having to remove the hub. There are other manufacturers of these guys, but these are the ones that I find the best. We've got instructions, and in the instructions there you've got a CV boot wing clip, and then we've got a like bag of grease. That's just sort of like silicone grease. That is adhesive or super glue, basically, to glue it together with. You've got in here some rubber gloves because, well, was the sticky super glue, it will stick it together. It's very hard to do one-handed. I need to sort of figure out another way of doing this when I'm actually putting it in the car. But this is the actual boot, and it's really nice thick. It's a good thick rubber. 19 to 25. I believe the X5 that I'm going to try and fit this to is 25 or maybe 26 mil all the way. I think it was all the way up to the 120. There is a groove that runs in the boot here, and it runs all the way down. So there's this kind of tongue and groove idea that you fit these together. Yeah, basically, if I can show you there, that's kind of the idea. The tongue's actually in the groove, and then we're done. At that point, you know, your goal. So what we do is run a bead of super glue adhesive in here, and then squeeze them together whilst it's on the shaft. What I'm going to do is try and fit this. When I say try, I'm going to fit it. It's red hot today, but it's probably the best time to do it in terms of getting it done today. And we're just going to show you underneath the car. What I've done is got the wheel off already, but how I'll put the clips off and everything I'll show you now. So normally you'd just knock that out, take that off, then put a puller on or little hammer, knock the CV out, and then use a cone to get over this, and like grease the cone and slip the boot over onto the shaft. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use a sticky boot. So what this is here, this is a CV clamp. I put these on the last time, so put them on nice and tight. I just got them off with a, can't even find the screwdriver now. Oh, here it is. So I just got a flat blade screwdriver, a nice thin one, and I pry it into these areas, and then just pull it up. And sorry, that's really bad camera work. So I actually pry it into these areas here, and then twist, and it pops out teeth by teeth. So if I take one off, there's also another one here. I'm going to sort of already done the hard work, I think, on that one. I'm going to get that one off. Sorry, yeah, that's off. You'll have to excuse the camera work again because I'm new to videos, and I just really hope this is going to help somebody. So that's knocked out of the way. Now that boot's off, so even with the split, what I'm going to do is slide it down the shaft a bit, and then just get a Stanley knife and then just cut the boot off. Well, it's a shop rag, I say. They've just stolen to my wife's kitchen roll. Also, I've got some shrink wrap or cling film or whatever you want to call it, but no, I would use shrink wrap, but I don't have any at the moment on the van, so I've just gone in the kitchen and stolen. You don't have to buy it from Sainsbury's, you can buy it from anywhere you like. I just got under here from a different angle, and I realised that it was actually better to sort of show you from here. So there you can see the split in there now. Now I'm opening it up, it's all split there. So this boot here, just look how easy that's popping off. So now I've got the clip off, that's just popped off, and you can see inside there, not a lot of grease actually, but there's also not a lot of grease around here. Normally when one of these boots goes, they fling grease everywhere, and it's gross. So I've got my knife now. Again, what I'm going to do is just take my knife and then cut it all the way. Right, as luck would have it, boot is off. Unfortunately, when I was cutting it, it came off in many pieces, as you'll see now. It is a messy job, it is a dirty job, it is full of silicone grease. So yeah, what we need to do now is clean up all that area there with the shop rag and brake cleaner. I'll show you how to do that now. Because I'm going to have to trim this boot down, just keep it in a sort of fairly similar shape, so I can see what I'm going to have to do in terms of size. Yeah. Okay, now I need to sort of Yeah, maybe I should try and show you what I'm doing. Yeah, so it's a case of it's gross and dirty, and if you're like me, I'm on somebody else's drive at the moment, well, my father-in-law's, so yeah, basically put a bit of cardboard in there because this can, and this rubbish can get everywhere, but go around and make sure this ring here is as clean as absolutely possible, and all this, get everything in, get this, you can see, get all the grease in. I've given this a good spray already of brake fluid, but brake cleaner, sorry, brake fluid, something else, but brake cleaner. I'm using this brake and clutch cleaner, but just get it in there. Give that a good squirt as well, and then just go around, get everything in there. You've got grease and glue going into the same area, and they do not like each other. So you try and keep them as separate as possible for as long as possible, and then what will happen is you've got a good chance of the adhesive actually curing, rather than mixing with the grease. And if it does mix with the grease, the glue will not work. Sorry to keep going on about this, but cleanliness is next to godliness again. So I've cleaned everything on the shaft, which is where we're going to glue the boot to. We're not going to pack it with grease just yet, and there's a reason why I'm doing that. But that's the shaft clean. I've also cleaned the ARB there, and that's the ARB drop link. I've cleaned that, easy for me to say, ARB drop link. I've cleaned that as well. I've also cleaned the lower control arm, just because there's dust and dirt on there, and I don't want that getting into the glue whilst I'm gluing it. So what we're going to do now is wrap some cling film around this here, so all the way down there. So we'll wrap it all around there. Then we're actually going to put the boot. We're going to glue the boot onto that, because cling film's really easy to remove from the boot. So from that shaft, sorry, not the boot. And it just protects everything from any sort of dirt transferring from this shaft into the boot of the glue, because it really does touch it. It pinches it quite tight on this point here. Everything out. We need the glue, silicone, and the boot. I'm just going to measure it up now, see what I need to cut, but I think it's going to need to be cut on both ends by the look of it. Yeah, so I'm going to just do that off camera. I'm going to trim this down there and there, so it fits on my X5. To fit round the shaft there, you can also see I've prepped it with a bit of cling film. What I'm going to do is wait for that boot to get warm enough, so it just sits around there nice and easy. And we're going to get some adhesive when I can find it. There it is. Get the adhesive and just glue it together. It just pops over. You see that? It just slides over the shaft. And as I say, it's really tight, but what I'm going to do is get in there like that, squeeze it together, put it in, and glue that first bit there. So from this bit to this bit is really tricky. I ain't going to be able to do it one-handed, so I'm going to have to pause. And then what I'll do is get this bit, these two ribs glued together, and then what I'll do is I'll got the boot first part glued on about here. Sorry about that, somebody just sent me a text message. So yeah, I've got the first part glued on, and that's how I'm going to do it. I'm just going to continue to glue all the way along the boot until it's all closed up, and then once I've done that, we're going to pack it full of grease. So it's going quite well. So I was going to show you doing it in sections. We're all done now. You see I've glued it all down, but you kind of get the idea. You might see a boot here, a clamp on the boot. And this is what I do because it's really narrow on this edge, so I actually get a bit of vice grips and clamp them on, and then just make sure that, I don't know, if I move that you'll probably see some bubbling, but whilst that glue sets, it just gives me a bit of time then to work my way all the way down the boot. So I've put the grease in now. That was there, so the grease is all in the CV. Go around here, hopefully I'll show you. Yeah, you can see all the grease in. What I've got to do now is put one of these, what's the focus? Yeah, check those teeth all want to bind in there. They look good actually, so what I'm just going to do is straighten this out and wrap it around there. Yeah, again, I can't do it one hand. Let's try and position this ear in the easiest way I can get the clamps on. These are the clamps, so what I do is just go in there, attach it in and just give that a quick squeeze, bite that up, and then just do the other side. And that's all the zip tie ones, and they're rubbish. I wouldn't touch those, nor don't use plastic cable ties either. They'll just snap and you'll find your boot pops off. That's it. That's the boot one. Right, so as luck would have it, my battery died just before I finished up. So getting that second clip on, the smaller clip I didn't show you, but next day I went in there to have a check just to make sure it hadn't split or come undone and thrown grease everywhere, everything looking fine, which is great. It's actually a really good job, so hopefully that'll last for another couple of years. Yeah, hope this video's helped somebody. Give us a like.